Have you ever wondered why, even after taking vitamin D3, K2, and magnesium, your energy still feels low, your sleep doesn't improve, and your bones or muscles aren't as strong as you expected? You might be surprised to learn that it's not what you're taking. It's how and when you're taking them that matters most. I've met so many people who proudly say, "Dr. Lee, I take my D3 every morning," or "I always add magnesium before bed." But when I ask a few more questions about timing, food, and combinations, it becomes clear their body is absorbing only a fraction of what those supplements could actually deliver. Here's the truth. Most people take D3, K2, and magnesium the wrong way. And when that happens, you're not only wasting money, you're also missing the very benefits that protect your heart, your brain, your immune system, and your longevity. So today, I want to explain what's really happening inside your body when these nutrients interact and how a few small changes can completely transform your results. Let's start with the bigger picture. After the age of 50, men's health faces a silent shift. Your body becomes less efficient at absorbing and using nutrients, especially fat-soluble vitamins like D3 and K2. Your gut slows down, your liver processes nutrients differently, and your cells don't respond to hormonal cues in the same way they did in your 30s. That means even if you take the right dose, you might not be getting the right effect. Vitamin D3, K2, and magnesium aren't just three random supplements. They form a nutrient triangle. Each one supports the other in ways that determine whether calcium goes to the right place, your bones, or the wrong place, your arteries. D3 helps you absorb calcium from food. K2 tells your body where to send it. Magnesium is like the conductor. It activates enzymes that make both D3 and K2 actually work. When that triangle is broken, say you take D3 without K2 or magnesium at the wrong time, you can accidentally trigger imbalances that cause stiffness in your joints, fatigue, muscle cramps, or even calcium buildup where you don't want it. This is one reason why some people on vitamin D feel worse over time. It's not that D3 is harmful, it's that it's working alone. Think of it like trying to run a car engine without oil. The fuel is there, but the system can't run smoothly. Here's another piece of the puzzle. Many people take D3 with breakfast or lunch, but they don't realize that D3 is fat soluble. If your meal doesn't contain healthy fats like olive oil, avocado, or eggs, that supplement simply passes through your digestive system with very little absorption. Studies have shown that taking vitamin D3 with a fat-containing meal can increase absorption by up to 50%. That's a massive difference for such a small detail. And what about magnesium? This mineral doesn't just help you relax or sleep. It's essential for over 300 biochemical reactions in your body. It converts vitamin D into its active form. Without magnesium, your D3 can stay inactive, circulating in your blood but not entering your cells. Yet most people are magnesium deficient, especially after age 50, due to stress, caffeine, alcohol, and even common medications that drain it from your system. So if you take D3 in the morning and magnesium at night, without understanding their relationship, you might be delaying the synergy that your body actually needs during the day. And when you add K2 into the mix, the timing becomes even more important. When you get this combination wrong, here's what really happens. Your calcium regulation goes off balance. Calcium starts depositing in your soft tissues, your blood vessels lose elasticity, and your heart has to work harder. Meanwhile, your bones, the place that needs calcium most, remain undernourished. This is the hidden cost of taking healthy supplements in the wrong way. Now, here's the good news. Once you understand how these nutrients work together, you can restore that triangle. And when you do, the difference is often remarkable. Your energy lifts, your muscles recover faster, your bones feel stronger, even your sleep and focus improve because magnesium and D3 play major roles in brain chemistry. And the secret isn't in taking more, it's in taking smartly. The timing, the food, and the combination matter just as much as the supplement itself. In the next part, I'll explain exactly what happens in your body when D3, K2, and magnesium enter your system, the chain reaction inside your cells, and how to create the perfect timing window so these nutrients actually work with your body, not against it. So let's dive deeper into what actually happens inside your body when you take vitamin D3, K2, and magnesium. Imagine you just took your morning supplements. You swallow that D3 capsule with a glass of water, maybe with breakfast, maybe not, and go on with your day. Inside your gut, vitamin D3 starts dissolving, waiting to be absorbed through the intestinal wall. But here's the catch: D3 can't dissolve properly without dietary fat. Without that, most of it never even reaches your bloodstream. Let's say you did have some fat in your meal. Now the D3 gets absorbed into your lymphatic system and carried to your liver, where it's converted into a form your body can store. This is where magnesium steps in for the first time. Magnesium acts like the ignition key. It activates enzymes in your liver and kidneys that convert stored D3 into its active form, called calcitriol. Calcitriol is the real hero. It's the version of vitamin D that communicates with your cells, telling them to absorb calcium, regulate immunity, and produce energy. But here's the problem: if you're low on magnesium, which most adults over 50 are, this activation process stalls. You might be taking D3 faithfully every day, but without enough magnesium, your D3 remains stuck in storage, doing almost nothing. Now, once D3 is active, it begins signaling your intestines to absorb more calcium from your diet. Sounds good, right? Strong bones, strong teeth. But this is where things can go wrong fast if vitamin K2 isn't in the picture. Without K2, your body doesn't know where to send all that calcium. Instead of being deposited into your bones and teeth, some of it starts drifting into your blood vessels. Over time, that calcium can settle along artery walls, making them stiff and narrow. It's one of the subtle reasons why some people develop calcification even when their diet seems healthy. K2 acts like a GPS system for calcium. It activates a special protein called osteocalcin that locks calcium into your bones. At the same time, it triggers another protein, matrix GLA protein, which sweeps excess calcium out of your arteries. So when you take D3 and K2 together, you're essentially directing traffic. D3 opens the gate, K2 shows calcium where to park. And again, magnesium supports both of them. It helps your body produce and activate those K2-dependent proteins. Without magnesium, that whole traffic control system starts to fail. So think of it this way: a vitamin D3 opens the door for calcium. A vitamin K2 tells calcium where to go. A magnesium makes sure both of them actually do their jobs. But timing is everything. When you take D3 in the morning on an empty stomach, absorption drops. If you take K2 without any fat, its bioavailability decreases. And if you take magnesium too close to certain foods, especially fiber, rich meals, or coffee, you can block its absorption entirely. These small timing mistakes add up over time, leading to low effectiveness and sometimes unwanted side effects like digestive upset or fatigue. Now, here's something many people don't know: the body's natural rhythm also affects how these nutrients work. Vitamin D levels follow a circadian pattern. They peak during the day when sunlight exposure naturally triggers production. That's why taking D3 earlier in the day, preferably with your largest meal, makes biological sense. Your body recognizes it as daylight nutrition. Magnesium, on the other hand, supports relaxation, nerve function, and recovery. Taking it in the evening, especially a calming form like magnesium glycinate, helps the body transition into rest and repair mode. K2 is more flexible, but pairing it with your D3 meal ensures both work synergistically. When people get this rhythm right, they often notice subtle but powerful changes: smoother energy throughout the day, fewer muscle cramps, better sleep, and even improved mood. That's your body's feedback. It's telling you that the triangle is working in harmony again. But if this balance breaks, if one nutrient is missing or mistimed, your system has to work harder to compensate. You might feel tired, experience irregular heartbeats, or notice your vitamin D blood levels never seem to rise no matter how high your dose. It's not your fault. It's your biology asking for coordination. In the next part, I'll show you exactly how to build that coordination, how to time your D3, K2, and magnesium for optimal absorption, the best combinations with food, and simple daily habits that turn these nutrients into real health benefits you can feel. Now that we understand what's happening inside your body, let's talk about how to get it right. Because small adjustments in timing, food pairing, and daily rhythm can completely change how these supplements behave in your system. Let's begin with vitamin D3. As I mentioned earlier, vitamin D3 is fat soluble, which means your body needs healthy fats to absorb it. If you take D3 on an empty stomach or with just fruit or coffee, you're losing most of its potential. So, the best way to take D3 is with your largest meal of the day, usually breakfast or lunch. That includes some form of fat. That could be a drizzle of olive oil, a few slices of avocado, eggs, or even a handful of nuts. Morning is also the ideal time. That's when your body naturally expects sunlight exposure and when your internal clock is tuned to produce vitamin D. Taking it early helps your metabolism align with your natural circadian rhythm, boosting energy and alertness throughout the day. People who take D3 late in the evening sometimes report restless sleep, and that's because vitamin D plays a role in regulating the sleep-wake cycle. Next, let's add vitamin K2 into the equation. K2 doesn't need a specific time of day, but it does need fat for absorption, just like D3. That's why taking D3 and K2 together with the same meal makes perfect sense. They're partners. D3 brings in calcium, K2 directs it where to go. Combining them ensures calcium moves to your bones instead of your arteries. It's one of those beautiful examples of how nutrients are designed to work in synergy, not isolation. There's another subtle reason why K2 timing matters. When you take K2 with D3, you're activating the bone building process during the part of the day when your body is most active and your muscles are moving. That mechanical stimulation, walking, climbing stairs, lifting things, signals your bones to absorb calcium more effectively. So pairing your supplements with your daytime activity amplifies their benefit. Now, what about magnesium? Magnesium plays a different role. It's like the balancing mineral, the one that calms your nervous system, supports muscle recovery, and activates vitamin D. But magnesium can sometimes have a mild relaxing effect, which is why I recommend taking it later in the day, either with dinner or about an hour before bed. The form you choose also matters. Magnesium oxide or citrate can upset sensitive stomachs, but magnesium glycinate is gentle, well absorbed, and excellent for relaxation and sleep quality. It also partners beautifully with D3 and K2 by supporting their enzyme activity. So here's the ideal patterns: a morning or midday. Take vitamin D3 and K2 together with your main meal that includes healthy fats. Evening, take magnesium glycinate with a light meal or before bed to aid absorption and support overnight repair. And here's something most people overlook: hydration. Magnesium helps regulate electrolyte balance, so taking it with a glass of water supports both absorption and your body's ability to use it efficiently. If you drink coffee or tea in the morning, make sure you rehydrate later in the day. Caffeine can deplete magnesium stores faster. Now, let's connect this to lifestyle. If you spend a lot of time indoors or live in an area with limited sunlight, your vitamin D levels may drop even if you supplement. In that case, pairing D3 with a short daily walk outdoors, especially in the morning, enhances your natural production. Movement activates the enzymes that help distribute nutrients, especially when oxygen flow and blood circulation are high. Also, try not to combine your supplements with certain interfering substances. For example, avoid taking D3 or K2 alongside high fiber supplements, antacids, or large doses of zinc. They can block absorption. And don't mix magnesium with calcium-heavy meals. They compete for uptake in the gut. When you follow these small but strategic steps, your body responds differently. People often notice their vitamin D levels stabilize without increasing the dose. Muscle tension starts to ease. Energy levels rise. And over time, you're not just supplementing, you're building a rhythm of nutrition that supports your body's natural design. It's not about taking more pills, it's about aligning with biology. In the next part, I'll show you what can happen when this alignment is missing, the real-world consequences of long-term imbalance, and how restoring this nutrient triangle can protect your heart, bones, and brain for decades to come. Now, let's talk about what happens when this triangle breaks. When D3, K2, and magnesium fall out of balance. Many people believe that if one supplement is good, more must be better. But with these nutrients, balance is everything. Taking high doses of vitamin D3 without enough K2 and magnesium can slowly create an internal traffic jam. Calcium starts going where it shouldn't, magnesium levels drop, and you begin to feel subtle symptoms that don't seem connected at first. I've seen it time and time again. Someone begins taking high-dose vitamin D3 because their doctor told them their levels were low. A few months later, they start feeling muscle tightness, headaches, even fatigue. They might think it's unrelated, maybe stress or dehydration. But often, it's the result of depleted magnesium. You see, as your body converts vitamin D3 into its active form, it consumes magnesium in that process. The more D3 you take, the more magnesium your body needs to keep up. If that supply isn't there, your muscles can cramp, your heart rhythm can feel irregular, and your sleep quality can drop. It's your body's way of saying, slow down, I need balance. At the same time, without enough vitamin K2, all that extra calcium your D3 helps you absorb doesn't always reach your bones. Instead, it can settle into your soft tissues, your joints, your blood vessels, even your kidneys. Over years, this can contribute to stiffness, reduced mobility, and vascular calcification, one of the leading silent factors behind heart aging. It's ironic, isn't it? We take these supplements to protect our bones and heart, but if we take them incorrectly, we might slowly do the opposite. Now, the good news is the body is incredibly forgiving when you give it the right support. The moment you start restoring the nutrient triangle, things begin to change. Within weeks, many people notice their muscle tension softening. Sleep becomes deeper and more restorative. Morning stiffness fades. That's the magnesium doing its job again, calming your nervous system and allowing vitamin D to function efficiently. Within a few months, bones start rebuilding density. That's not just from calcium, it's from directed calcium. K2 activates the proteins that escort calcium right into your bone matrix, strengthening it from within. This is especially important after age 50, when bone density naturally begins to decline. And it's not only about preventing fractures. It's about keeping you mobile, strong, and independent as you age. Your cardiovascular system also thanks you. When K2 ensures calcium stays out of arteries, your blood vessels remain flexible. That flexibility keeps blood pressure steady and protects the tiny capillaries that nourish your brain and organs. Magnesium contributes too. It relaxes the smooth muscles of your arteries, improving circulation and oxygen delivery. So instead of stiffness, you get fluidity and vitality. What's more, this balance affects your metabolism. Vitamin D and magnesium together help regulate insulin sensitivity and reduce inflammation, which plays a role in everything from energy levels to immune strength. Many people report that once they fix this trio, their afternoon fatigue disappears and their focus improves. Even your mood can shift. Magnesium and D3 together influence serotonin and dopamine pathways, the neurotransmitters that affect emotional balance. It's not uncommon for people to say, "I just feel more like myself again." And this is the beauty of nutritional harmony. You're not forcing the body with artificial stimulation, you're reawakening its own capacity to restore and maintain itself. Now, it's important to mention that supplements should complement, not replace, a nutrient-rich diet. Leafy greens, fatty fish, eggs, nuts, seeds, and fermented foods all naturally support this triangle. When you pair the right foods with smart supplementation, your body performs like it was designed to: resilient, balanced, and self-healing. So if you've been feeling like your supplements aren't doing much, or if you've been chasing higher D3 levels without results, this is your sign to pause and rebalance. In the final part, I'll walk you through a simple daily plan, a way to integrate D3, K2, and magnesium into your routine effortlessly, and I'll share a few bonus tips to help your body maximize every dose. Now that you understand how D3, K2, and magnesium truly work inside your body, let's put it all together into a simple daily plan that's easy to remember, sustainable, and built around how your body naturally functions. Here's what a healthy routine could look like. When you wake up, start your day with sunlight, even if it's just 10 or 15 minutes outdoors. That light exposure signals your brain and skin to produce vitamin D naturally. It also sets your circadian rhythm, improving mood, focus, and sleep later in the day. Then, with your first substantial meal, ideally breakfast or lunch, take your vitamin D3 and vitamin K2 together. Make sure this meal contains a healthy fat source: olive oil on your toast, eggs, avocado, salmon, or even a small handful of nuts. That fat helps your gut absorb both D3 and K2 far more efficiently. Remember, they're teammates. D3 brings calcium and K2 directs it. If one shows up without the other, the message gets lost in translation. If you exercise during the day, that's even better. Physical activity enhances the bone's response to these nutrients, guiding calcium exactly where it should go. Think of every step you take as a signal to your bones saying, "Build here." Then, as the evening approaches, it's time for magnesium. This mineral works best when your body is winding down. It supports muscle relaxation, lowers stress hormones, and prepares your nervous system for rest. Taking magnesium glycinate about an hour before bed can improve sleep quality and help your body repair overnight. It also replenishes what your body used during the day, especially if you had caffeine, alcohol, or stress, all of which deplete magnesium reserves. You can even make a small ritual out of it: a warm glass of water or herbal tea, a few deep breaths, and your magnesium supplement. It's a quiet way to remind your body that it's safe to rest and heal. Now, let's talk about what to avoid. Don't take your D3 and K2 with high fiber supplements, as they can trap fat, soluble vitamins, and reduce absorption. Avoid pairing magnesium with calcium-heavy meals. They compete for absorption. And if you're on medications or blood thinners, always check with your healthcare provider before making major supplement changes. K2, in particular, interacts with certain medications that affect blood clotting. When people follow this simple plan, sunlight in the morning, D3 and K2 with a healthy meal, magnesium at night, something remarkable happens. Within a few weeks, their energy feels steadier, their mind clearer, and their recovery faster. Over time, bone density improves, arteries stay supple, and inflammation drops. You're not just taking supplements, you're retraining your body to operate in harmony again. What I love most about this process is that it's not extreme. There's no complicated formula or expensive product. It's about understanding the biology that's been within you all along, how your body was designed to use nutrients with precision and intelligence. When you respect that design, everything changes. Your body rewards you with strength, balance, and vitality that lasts for decades. You don't just survive aging, you age well. And here's something I tell my patients often: a health isn't about taking the most supplements, it's about taking them with purpose. Every capsule should have a reason, a timing, and a partner nutrient that makes it effective. So if you've been taking D3, K2, and magnesium separately, now you know how to bring them together. You don't need to overhaul your life. Just refine your timing, adjust your meals slightly, and stay consistent. Because real health isn't built in a single day. It's built through small, smart choices repeated daily. Choices that align with how your body actually works. When you get your nutrient rhythm, right, your body responds. You sleep better. You move easier. Your mind feels sharper. And over time, you don't just feel the difference. You become the difference. That's the power of understanding your body's natural design and using science to live younger, longer, and stronger. Thank you for watching. If you found this helpful, share it with someone who's been struggling with their supplements or low energy. Because when people understand how simple changes can transform their health, they start to take back control, one smart choice at a time. Stay well, stay curious, and I'll see you in the next video.